Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain
Hi,
Foley,
Chronicles. Welcome back.
and we just want to make sure that you've had your Gorn flakes this morning, and you're feeling all chipper, because we're gonna get on with this live and talk about an alien from Star Trek that a lot of people love and wanted to know more about, and that is the Gorn.
Yeah, and if you've got sleeves on, get rid of those sleeves, because we do recommend watching these sorts of videos without sleeves. It just adds to the tension. So, Stuart, you may have learned that Gorn came back, and we were very much teased their appearance in another episode. Here we get to see full-on young Gorn, which is, in fairness, not what we're going to compare it to, because we have never had a young Gorn before. But we're going to look at the Gorn design through the canon, because it's all still canon, and how the new designs work compared to the old one, and see if we can pull anything from that, and just, take a look at the new Gorn design. So, the first picture, though, is the classic original. And what are your sort of thoughts on this version now, 50 years later?
Still the definitive one for me, man. Yeah, it is clearly a rubber suit with, you can see the eye slits, so they got to look out of. But it's a cool design, and I've grown up with this, and with FASA and Beta Canon and stuff. This is always just what I pictured as a Gorn. There's really nothing wrong with the design. I got to be honest. Wish they could change his attire somewhat.
I was going to say the attire is entirely inappropriate for a space captain, because that's the twist, isn't it? But it's not a twist because he
maybe it's his pajamas. He got taken off of his ship.
That'd be great. I'm not saying that you can't have any sort of costume, but fine. And then actually, it's worth noting that in Lower Decks, the Gorn look like this as well. So the Gorn also like that in canon later. So Stranger Worlds is by certainly not retconning canon, because it's so this is classic, and for me obviously it's about the head design. Everything else is just a body, but I think the heads are great. It's sort of a crocodile, but not lizard, but not. It's got its own unique flair. I think it works well.
And it should be pointed out, too, that there has been a few different Gorns shown on screen, which I'm sure we're going to look at. But they vary quite a bit, and it could be that there are subclasses of Gorn on their planet, or maybe in their system, and there's different versions. Because even in the Star Trek 2009 video game, there's Gorn in that, and they're amazing to fight. They don't look anything like this. They're more animalistic, which...
Yeah, I didn't even consider looking at those because they're alternate universe entirely. Alternate license, alternate universe. They, trying to be a villain in a video game. They're just animals. There's not really anything Gorn about them, really, except they're green, let's be honest. Let's make a green reptile and call them Gorn. It's like, well, that's not really how the species work. Yeah, the next picture is, of course, on the right. It is the Gorn from Intramural Darkly, which, yes, is an alternate universe. Which I did just say makes it irrelevant because of the JJ-verse, but as opposed to the JJ-verse, the Mirror Universe is an almost identical copy of our universe, so this can be taken as a literal canon as well, with unlikely it being very different at all, given that, yes, Archer had less of a haircut, but that was his only real visual difference. There's no reason to think this Gorn being different. They obviously updated it, and yet, visually, it's the same thing but updated. It's an incredibly well done, I think, visual update that is a lot more scary. It was a fully CG creature, which was quite impressive at the time. Tall, menacing, kicked Archer's butt a little bit, and then gets shot point blank with the rifle. Thoughts?
It's amazing all the similarities between these two. Like, they definitely used the original one as the template, and they just made it more modernized and updated, and I think it's a fantastic look. I really like this for the Gorn as well. I think this works just equally as well.
Well, because Enterprise was very much a case of, okay, we need to update some things, but let's actually use the original as baseline. Other things after have not stuck with that so much. This is it's definitely a more animalistic version, but it still has a sense of, being an upright bipedal creature gives you that sense of intelligence. As soon as you go out of that realm, they become animalistic. So that's very important, I think. And I would love to have seen a Gorn in Stranger. I mean, we may still see in season 2, although I doubt it severely, a guy in a prosthetic head, because we've seen that many times currently. Give us a smart Gorn rather than just animal Gorn. The next shot, though, is a culmination of all the behind-the-scenes shots from the Ready Room, to which showed us the puppeteering. Now, there was some CG used, but almost all of it was puppeteer shots, which is why we kind of barely saw it. Now, this is obviously a Born That Day Gorn, but the fact that it goes from the bottom left, which is a literal baby Gorn, into a starting to grow Gorn, and you got to remember that Lan did explicitly say these are thoroughly intelligent at this point already. So this is now an intelligent, let's say, adolescent Gorn, even though it's only been a couple of hours at max. Thoughts? Now you're seeing it in full clarity.
It feels like it wouldn't evolve or grow to be bipedal. with the design, the way this one operated during the whole show. That being said, yes, it was only a day old. Yes, they grow fast, sure. Yes, they're intelligent. Not necessarily, like they might be intelligent for a predator when they're young, and then evolve more, towards sentience later when they get a little older. I don't know, but it's too animalistic, and it feels like a Jurassic Park casting couch, reject.
It's dinosaur meets a xenomorph.
Yeah, for sure.
And there was this guy who was in the trailer, but it was very poorly lit. I instantly thought that was a baby Gorn based on the vibe. If I was to put the top right picture out of context, I don't think, that classic show you ask 100 people, what is it? Maybe like 5 out of 100 would say Gorn. They'd say new alien race. Because if it was not green, it would not be a Gorn. That's the only thing that really links it. And obviously, yes, human babies look very different to modern, to full-grown adults, etc. But still, it's a very, very far cry. And there's also, like I said, 2 ways I could go around this. One, what alien creature that births from changes the physical appearance, a la xenomorph, in which case it came from a very distinctly different creature, very distinct look. Perfect. They don't say that, so it's not canon. Or, like you say, life cycle, it starts feral beast, it kills all of its brothers, one survives, after 2 years it grows up to be a normal Gorn, bipedal, smart. Great. Didn't say it, not canon. And we can't do what we did for Discovery Klingons and tried to make it make sense, because they never gave us that. They retconned it out themselves. Moving on. So we're not going to give benefit of the doubt this week, because we did it, they failed too. The next picture then is the 3 compared. And obviously you got to remember, left is Captain Gorn, so you assume the oldest. Middle was a slave wrangler, I'm happy to say middle-aged, and the right was young baby Gorn. So if you look at that, maybe the features, if you look at it purely on that, right youngest, left oldest, as you grow you become more basic and more bipedal, which is actually really cool. But that's definitely not anywhere in the canon. Thoughts now you see all 3 side by side, prime timeline Gorn.
I think Strange New Worlds dropped the ball on the Gorn so far, honestly. But I do like the fact that, yes, the older it gets, the more it changes and evolves, which is perfectly fine. That's how things work. My problem is I don't think something like this, that has this kind of animalisticness at birth, would be a spacefaring race. Unless, like you said, after 2 years they become, more sentient and more civilized, if you will.
Which I guess you could argue, if you look at a baby at 2, asking for its bottle, how do they make space travel?
And as we talked about in our review as well, if that could explain the hatcheries or the birthing planets or whatever, as a way to not interfere with their society, get them off world, let them do their thing, go back for the survivors.
Yeah, which is certainly horrific, but if 4 birth from each person, you put 1,000 people, you have 40,000 people, or 4,000 creatures. If 10 survive, those are the strongest. And then, like I said, a year later, you come back and, hey guys, you made it. Welcome to our society.
Or the military. Maybe it's just the military that has the hatcheries. Let the strongest ones survive and go back for them. You're recruited.
And it's not to say these aren't interesting creatures, but we're obviously compared to the Gorn universe as is, because these things are canon. The show's in canon, meant to be anyway, and this is still a fair comparison to do. The one thing that could have saved it for me, and I said this in another review, is all it needed to do was that very last scene when the one has survived, which implies it's the strongest. Well, I mean, it is the strongest. Have it stand up on its 2 feet rather than 4, walk in, look at the things, and decide not to fall for the trap. Make an intelligent move to show, okay, the best one is the smartest, that's an evolution. Whereas instead it kept animalistic, it showed no intelligence beyond a feral animal, which is not what a Gorn is. They're a spacefaring empire. Yeah, just an entirely different way to go, and it'd be great if they give us a reason of their different species, etc., or Gorn from Gorny Alpha 6 rather than Gorny Alpha 4. But certainly if they're trying to pull parallels, if you made them not green, you would not say the right-hand side was Gorn. You just wouldn't. It's not close enough to link. But obviously baby, but still. It'd be nice if they at least looked like a Gorn.
One on the right looks like a roided out Geico gecko. Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts on the Gorn design. Which Gorns are your favorite throughout the course of canon and beta canon? If you've played the 2009 game, Those were the ones I preferred, honestly. They felt more vicious and would have tied in more with these ones that we see in Strange New Worlds. So I don't know if that's what they're going for. TOS is just around the corner in terms of the timeline, so this is the Gorn we got in Arena.
Yeah, there's just a balance to be made, and they just didn't strike the balance of Trek fans to say, oh, that's a Gorn.
Comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all those cool things, and join us for the lives where you can put in your voice, and we will read your comments and super chats and talk about them. So if you want to help us out, please join us for those as well.
And support us if you can directly, because we can need that support to make more of these videos, and we'll just continue throughout the years, because unless we make enough money to live, we can't. It's sad. So support us if you can via Patreon monthly, join the channel monthly as well. One-time donation at trekyards@hotmail.com. That is the PayPal address. Or email, just say hi if you want. And of course, super chat during the lives, we appreciate, we love that, and we just value it massively. Or super thanksing on any video, in any of our thousands of videos, you can go back and super thanks, and we appreciate it no end. So thanks in advance, and yeah, we appreciate it.
So until next time, he's Commander Cocky.
He's Captain Foley.
We'll see you later.
Bye guys.
Bye, Red.